Assalamualaikum and good morning, Dr. Isma. So thank you for taking your time to meet us today and be interviewed. So let me introduce myself. My name is Hanisa. This is Shakira. This is Aina. This is Pritiba. This is Atira, and that is Rabia. And this is Pranita. So we're here to interview you on your research and gain more knowledge on how you're conducting your research. So I've heard you're working on bacterial extraction, which has piqued our interest because you have mentioned these antimicrobial molecules in your lesson before. So may I know what has been inspiring you to conduct this research?
Alright, okay. So good morning all. I've been working on antimicrobial compound, basically antibiotics. Okay, so as you know, antibiotics have been becoming resistant. Bacteria have becoming resistant to antibiotics. So, alternative to antibiotics is finding antimicrobial compounds. So, I'm looking at natural compounds, I would say. Okay, so for example, these antimicrobial peptides, sometimes they are called they call bacteriocins. Okay, so they have this antimicrobial activity which can help to kill the bacteria and then that can be an alternative to antibiotics. So what inspired me is that the rise or the emergence of antibiotic resistance. So I'm also looking at the mechanism of antibiotic resistance. So by looking at mechanisms, then you can say, okay, how do we create a compound or find any compounds that can help to overcome the resistance mechanism. So trying to find things that we can use to kill the bacteria so that these compounds are not resistant as to antibiotics. So that inspired me too. So when my PhD work was on Klebsiella pneumonia, looking at mechanism of resistance. So when I came back after my studies, I was like, okay, let's find something else, alternative to antibiotics. So that's why I've come across bacteriocins and other antimicrobial peptides.
That's very interesting. Yes, that's very interesting. So, what is can you explain the main method that you used in the research?
Okay, for bacteriocins, because bacteriocins are small peptides, so they are small protein, we call peptides. We have to extract them first and then purify. So these bacteriocins are mainly from bacteria. Okay, so antimicrobial peptide can be obtained from other sources like fungi, humans sometimes, and also bacteria. So the ones I'm working on is bacteria. So these bacteria are the good bacteria, lactic acid bacteria, for example. So I'm looking at Lactococcus lactis. Okay, so that is the good bacteria in our gut. So they can produce this antimicrobial peptide. So first we need to extract them. So before extraction, we need to make sure that they are producing the bacteriocins, because these bacteriocins are producing at certain stage of the bacteria life cycle. So usually at the end of it, because they are mostly like secondary metabolites. So at the end of maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours of their growth. So we grow them first, let's say for example about 24 hours. And then we spin down and collect the supernatant. So in the supernatant contains a lot of this, a mixture of the antimicrobial compounds. So it can be peptides, it can be organic acids, it can be a lot of things, because the bacteria, when they are growing, they are secreting them into the media. So that's why we collect the supernatant, which is the media, after we spin down. So from that, we test first if there is any antimicrobial activity. So just by taking about 100 microliter of the CFS, put it on the agar plate using agar well diffusion assay, then you can see overnight there is a zone of inhibition. So if there is a zone of inhibition, means there is antimicrobial compound. So then we take that supernatant, we do extraction. So extraction can be a lot of things, ways. So sometimes if you want to collect the organic acids, you use the solvent to extract. If you want to take the peptides, which is proteins, you use this ammonium sulfate. So few extraction process, then you can get a crude extract, which is a more concentrated one. So you test, if there is antimicrobial compound, then you can proceed. So usually the antimicrobial zone of inhibition will be bigger than the supernatant because it's more concentrated. So you have already from a lot of compounds, you just collect the ones that are important and concentrate them. Then you have to go through purification process because you want to see which of the compounds are making the activity. Then lastly, you identify the compound because you cannot from just a crude extract identify because there's going to be a lot of proteins. So you need to purify, meaning separate them into maybe molecular weight or charges so that you can get that particular compound that is making the activity. So that's how it is in a nutshell.
Doctor,
In a nutshell.
Doctor, is there anything else unexpected in your result?
Of course, in terms of purifications, it's difficult because you are trying various methods of purification. Because when you elute purification process, the last part is elution part, whereby the compounds that you want will be diluted in fractions, and then you want to test in different fractions, let's say 20 fractions. Each fraction you test whether there is antimicrobial activity. So it may be that the compounds are working together. So if you're separating them, they might not have the activity anymore. So that might be one of the case, and maybe the way of purification is not the correct way. So you might lose the compound, or the compound is still stuck in the column. It's not being eluted out. So that is the major obstacle at the moment because it's difficult to purify them. So at the moment we have just the crude extract. With the crude extract we identify the proteins, but there's a lot. So you cannot pinpoint, okay, this particular protein is making the activity. We cannot. So we just assume, because based on journals, okay, we have like maybe about hundreds of proteins. Maybe, okay, this protein A and B have shown in other people's research have antimicrobial activity against methicillin resistant Staph aureus, for example. Then we can sort of conclude, okay, maybe the one that is making the activity is from these proteins. So it's still going on.
So what are common learning challenge that students face during studying antimicrobial research?
In terms of research, okay. Well, a lot of things. Sorry.
It's okay, okay.
Okay. You do your so basically, when we come with research, especially when we deal with living things, the bacteria sometimes don't grow, the bacteria sometimes don't produce the compound because it needs to be stimulated, and then you get contamination because you need to work in a sterile environment. That is part of the research obstacles lah. Other than that, in terms of consumables, sometimes it's a bit delayed to get, and then equipment, sometimes you have broken equipments, then you have to find other equipments. You have to adapt with the situation. So things doesn't go your way all the time. So don't give up. And sometimes when you do research, it happens to me as well. You keep on doing, and you don't get it. So then that's the time to stop. Because if you keep on going, that's not going to get anything. Because your mind is already clouded already. So take a break, a week or so, then come back with a fresher mind. Then you have that energy again. Because postgraduate, people say it's a lonely journey, but I don't think so, because you can make fun out of it. So if you that period, go enjoy yourself, go travel, go have fun, whatever. Then come back with a fresher mind, because that's when you can think better. So in terms of that is emotional and kind of thing. But in terms of research obstacles, you can have equipment breakdowns, bacteria not growing well, contamination, things like that. Those are the normal obstacles. So it's difficult to finish in the, but it's possible.
Throughout your research studies, what do you think the most transferable skills that are valuable for students when they want to pursue career in microbiology or maybe biotech?
Okay, time management. Time management is really number one. Because you might, when, especially because when you deal with research, microbe kinds, you have to at least 3 days. 1 day before, the day that you do your experiment, and the day that you observe. Okay, because 1 day before, you need to prepare the cultures, you need to make sure the bacteria is growing, you need to do overnights, and overnights is always needs to be 24 hours, it needs to be fresh. And then times the time that you do, and then you observe. But that is very minimum, 3 days. Because it can be that sometimes when you grow overnight, suddenly the next day the bacteria doesn't grow. You have to repeat again, so you cannot do. So time management is number one. So when I was doing my postgraduate studies, masters and PhD, I would list down, okay, a week before, okay, what I want to do, what are the things needed, because you have to remember you need to autoclave things like the beaker tips, you need to make sure you have enough. If it's not enough, that's it, you cannot do. You have to make sure that the consumables are enough for you. Okay, let's say you want to do like 20 cultures at the same time. You have to make sure you have 20 flasks. You have to autoclave the 20 flasks or whatever, get it done. So you cannot just come in, okay, today I'm going to do this. That's not going to happen. So it's always time management. A week before, plan what you want to do for the whole week. It don't have to be, sometimes you need to be detailed because you need to know, okay, how many of the cultures you need. 20 mil. So you have to prepare a bigger volume to make sure that you have enough. If you just 20 mil, you won't have it. So those are things that you need to prepare. Okay, we need to know what's the method. Do we have enough? So I always check. Okay, do I have enough this? Okay, if not, I cannot do. Then I have to book equipments because you are sharing, right? Okay, you have to make sure you book that time. So things like that is important. So time management is really number one.
Just that it will be used. The thing that you explained before is is the overview of our family project.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, definitely. But don't worry, it's not. I'm not trying to scare you, but this is reality. Because in the end, at the end of the day, I don't have enough. I don't know. I cannot help you. You should have planned it earlier, So that's why every time my students, I say plan. Make sure, because and also you start early because you don't know what will happen along the way. Bacteria don't grow, or you don't have enough machine, or suddenly you cannot enter the lab, or you are having and so things like that. So you plan early. Okay, what do you want to do? Week by week. I know it's a bit tedious, but that really helps you. So I will have a log book like that, the blue one. Every day, what to do. Done. Next day. Then whole week done. So you work hard, and then you play hard after that. So research is like that. You really need to plan, and also perseverance and patience. You need a lot of perseverance because things don't go your way. So it's okay, chin up and try again until you get it. It's like that.
Okay, doctor. So coming to the relevance part, because I'm pretty sure it's been a few years since you've basically finished your PhD and you've been a lecturer for so long. How do you think AI plays a part in current research?
AI can do a lot of things actually. So it can help maybe plan your research in the beginning. In the perspective of what you can you can use that to look for what are the research gaps, what are the latest journals, but of course you don't rely on them. So they can give whatever reference, but of course you have to look back at the paper and cross-check. That is in terms of writing, but in terms of conducting the experiments in science and I would say lab-based, we don't really use that AI in terms of conducting research, but we can use that to analyze results, for example. So we can have analysis of your results, creating bar charts, which is giving more than what it is. So sometimes you need to have all the statistical analysis. So you can use AI for that. But in terms of conducting the lab experiment itself, you still need person to do that. Yeah.
Okay, doctor. So your recent research is about bacteriocin, right?
Not just bacteriocin. So basically, the big umbrella is antimicrobial resistance. So looking at the point of view of the bacteria, how they overcome resistance, looking at the point of view of the antimicrobial compound to kill the bacteria, and then overall creating a new alternative therapy for antibiotics to overcome resistance and to help cure infections. So that will be the end goal. But of course, before going to the end goal, you need to do all those fundamental ones. But the big umbrella will be antimicrobial resistance. So I will call myself a bacteriologist. The area will be antimicrobial resistance. Yeah. So, but you can use also what do you call it? Tools to look at your study. So you can things like proteomics, transcriptomics, whole genome sequencing. Those are the tools to help me in my research.
So are you currently focused on more diagnosing the infection faster or finding alternative way to treat them?
Finding alternative way to treat bacteria, but ultimately in terms of diagnostics lah. The application will be in terms of diagnostics, but of course you have to do the fundamental work first. Finding all these compounds, characterizing the compounds, so we call them fundamental work. Then you can use those compounds for treatment. So that's how it is.
Just to touch on our subject, since it's science communication and you've been a lecturer for us and for many classes also, what are the basic science communication skills do you use? Because you have to stand in front of a whole class who is sometimes interested, sometimes is not. So how do you present yourself in front of a class?
Okay, so I would say that you need to engage with the audience. Eye contact is important. Talk to them, ask them, what are your problems? What do you don't understand? So that when I address what you don't understand, then you are more interested, right? If I talk something that is not your interest, then you won't be interested. So that's why I always ask the question: do you understand? What do you want to know? Okay, so that is engagement. So you always need to engage with the audience. So that is in class, but in terms of presentation, my work, right? So I do go for conferences to present my work. So when you do your presentation, you have to ask, you have to engage the audience and look at the theme of the conference. For example, if the theme is whole genome sequencing, so then you present your work towards them, so that then you can attract people's attention. You don't talk about purification because that's not the theme, and people don't go for that. So that is knowing the scope of your audience is important. So like you guys, of course your scope will be learning the subject. So I engage on the subject. But if I just keep on talking about the disease, it's just going to be like that, right? So I ask question: do you happen to have stomach problem, ear problem? Then you can relate to that situation. Oh, I've done that. Oh, that's how to do that. So that's how, science communication, in terms of you need to communicate with people. Yeah.
Maybe I want to ask about, do you think that the undergraduate now, because we have a lot of presentation and it's obvious that some of us are good in presentation and self-communication, but some of us are not.
True.
But there will be some people that think that if you are a researcher, you just have to good in your lab skills. So your communication, and as long as you can talk about your findings result, you don't have to be so good about this. What is the
I will have to disagree on that, because you can do mad scientist, Nobel Prize research. If you cannot convey what you have done, it's nothing, it's pointless. So, I give an example. I was visiting a student intern in Singapore. Our student, maybe your seniors lah. So he or she, can remember, I did a research, intern in a research institute in Singapore. So he was presenting it, but I couldn't understand. But it's a good work. It's a really, to the supervisor, he has done like more than for undergraduate lah. So it's more like a PhD work. He has done well, but I couldn't understand. I couldn't get what he has done. So that's why you have to be good at presentation, because how people want to know what you have done if you are not presenting it well? It can be, okay, yeah, so so that's how you are. So as a researcher, because we're not just doing research, we have to get grants. To get grants, you have to pitch sometimes in front of evaluators. People are giving money. You want to get people give you money, you have to convince that what you're doing is important. So how do you convince that? That is in terms of pitching. But nowadays, we do grant proposal in terms of writing. Writing is also another way of showing your work. So how do you write the proposal so that people want to give you the money? So both communication in terms of speaking and also writing is also important. Sometimes it can be a good work, but if the proposal is not good, sorry. So that's why it is very important. So I would say I'm not extrovert person. I used to be very nervous, very very nervous. But how do I become a lecturer? You overcome it. Practice a lot of times. It doesn't have to be good in the beginning, but practice, and then so whatever presentation that you have in class, do it. It may not be good, but doesn't matter as long as you try and try, so that you overcome your fear. I already have fear of presenting. I remember when I first started become a lecturer, I am so nervous. I don't know what I'm talking about. So basically I'm just reading, which is not good. So first, for you to be able to be confident in whatever you're talking, knowledge. You need to have that knowledge. You cannot be memorizing, because memorizing can be, after a while you forget, right? And then you start to be nervous, okay, what's the next word? But if you have that knowledge, it will come naturally with whatever sentence. You don't have to memorize the sentence to talk. No, you just memorize the knowledge, the keywords, and that's it. Then it can be a very fluent presentation. So don't memorize. The knowledge is important. So when I came in, I had to teach a totally different subject, mycology. I'm not a mycologist. So it's really new to me. So I didn't do a good job basically lah. Because I don't have the knowledge. So how do I take? I was like sort of memorizing, trying to remember. So it was really haywire. But then that's fine. You learn about it. The next time, teach again. So same as plateau. Plateau is a lot of disease, right? But I tried every semester, try to go, okay, what to do next better. Until, I'm still learning, but yeah, so that you have the confidence to talk. Because when you have the knowledge, then you're confident. If not, what to talk, right? So confident and knowledge. Knowledge is important.
I think that's all from our part.
Alright, thank you.
First and foremost, we really want to thank you for taking out your time to answer all our questions. And is there anything you want to add after this? Anything you want to add?
I would say you guys explore things. Don't limit yourself. Okay, a bit of sharing, I would say. Okay, when I finished undergraduate, I wanted to work, but at the same time, I love research. I love to do research. So I tried both. Every day I send a few applications for scholarship, for placement to study, and for work. And I got a job first. And then, but along the way, I was offered a scholarship and a place. Then I took up. So you don't limit yourself. That's my point. Meaning you try all avenues and see where is, your rezeki is and where. Because sometimes it is a lot of, I would say, effort and also rezeki lah, I would say, because you may, like, for example, for me to get this position as a lecturer, I was nobody. I mean, nobody means like I wasn't from UPM, I would say. So I did my degree in Australia, masters and PhD in UK. So I came back, I knew nobody here. So how do I get people to notice me if they don't know me, I don't know them? Of course, people prefer somebody that they know, their student perhaps, and things like that. So how do I grow myself? So instead of just sending application, you knock on people's door. Let's say you have sent application, after 2 weeks people have not answered you, you email again. Or you go and see them. Hello, I've sent this appointment, scholarship application. Do you have one? Can I present to you my work? Things like that. So that works for me. Apparently, so I was lucky to have that there is one position that is available. So UPM sponsored my PhD, then I came back to become a lecturer. So my point is, before coming here, I tried few universities. Knock on people's door, okay, I want to present, you want to listen to me, things like that. So if not, there's a lot of application. People will be like, okay, yeah, I don't know you, unless I know you or somebody know you. So that's my point. So in terms of job as well, job application as well, I knock on people's doors also. I mean, of course lah, you have to have appointment first. So you try to set up appointment if they want, maybe with not the CEO, but maybe the head of that division maybe. So I did that. Waiting for people to finish their meeting so they can see them. So I mean, that is things that you need to do to make yourself stand out, because people don't. There's a lot of application. So my advice to you all, whatever job application, scholarship or whatever, make yourself known. Do the extra effort that other people have not done, so that people know you. So that's it.
So hopefully we have your permission to use all your insights in our report.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
And we also, if possible, can we get your background, doctor, like where you did your master's, PhD, and on which topic and everything.
Okay, so I did a bit of sharing. So I wasn't from any boarding school. I was just from a normal daily school. So those time people say, okay, you need to go to boarding school to get scholarship, things like that. But I say it's okay, I'll try. I mean, I don't have. I mean, if you want and there is a opportunity, why not? You don't have to be in certain. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to go, but my point is, if you want it, you work for it. That's it. And of course, opportunity and luck, I would say lah. Okay, but first you have to try. So I really want to go overseas. So I said, okay, I want to go. So I wasn't a brilliant student back then, but because I want to make sure I want to go overseas, so I worked hard for my SPM. Then after that, I applied a lot of scholarships, not just one, a lot. Go for interviews and whatever there is, try everything. So I get a few international school for IB and things like that. Patrolized interview but not get scholarship. But anyway, so I got MARA scholarship in the end. So then foundation, you have to go for foundation because they have like metric, but this is Australian matriculation. So during matriculation, you have to do well because that you have to have a certain CGPA, I would say, then you can go to Australia. If not, you have to do local. So I really want to go. But I fail. So my point is, failure is good so that you can work harder. It's a thing that to realize you to work harder. So I failed physics, I'm not good at that and things like that. But then I really want to go. So I really need to work hard so that I can get the CGPA to go overseas. So alhamdulillah I did. So I went to Australia for a Bachelor of Science. It was Bachelor of Science. Okay, so then you have to pick your major. So okay, I was looking at the trend nowadays, okay, biotechnology. So maybe I can do biochemistry. So we pick out, because we can pick our own courses. So we pick our own courses to make up the major. So you do extra hours because you need to make sure that you have that major. So I did extra hours. Sometimes during school, during break, I take additional subjects so to meet up my major. So I was Bachelor of Science, major in biotechnology and biochemistry with honours. So honours in Australia, you have to meet a certain CGPA for you to do honours. I want to do honours. So I had to, but I failed my biotech paper. So but I have to repeat it. So I forgo my summer holidays, work hard for the paper, and then I passed the paper. So I managed to get into honours year. So during honours year, you work hard because that honours year determine your degree lah. So I got first class for that. So after that, I wanna work and study. So I worked first for a while in biotechnology company, just for about 1-2 months. Then after that, I got a scholarship from MARA to pursue masters. So I went for my masters in UK because 4 years in Australia, I'm bored already. And plus, I want to travel Europe and UK, that side. I haven't been traveling that side. But during my studies, I enjoy. I work hard and I also played hard. I go traveling. Traveling makes money, so you have to work. Scholarship is not enough. So you work part-time, you work as waiter, work as cleaner, whatever work that you can find. So during holidays, maybe I don't go back, I work to get extra money to go for traveling. Because I don't ask my parents for money. So things like that. So basically, you have fun as you go along. And then I did my masters for a year. I told my supervisor I only have scholarship for a year. I need to finish in a year. So I finished in a year, I came back, I got married. Then I went to PhD because my supervisor offered me a PhD. But I don't have a scholarship. I have to find scholarship. So I was knocking on people's door, who wants to sponsor me. But my advantage that time, I said I have a place already for a PhD. I just need scholarship to get. So that was the advantage that I had compared to other applicants. Other applicants, they don't have a place yet. So usually they give the scholarship, okay, you have 6 months to find a place. But no, I said I have a place, I want to go straight away. So within that 6 months after I came back, I got married, I found a scholarship, and then I went again. Then my husband put a syarat requirement, I have to finish within how many years? Because he didn't follow me, I went there alone. So, okay, then I have to finish within 3 years because after that there's no money anymore. But I want to go traveling as well. So I was working as a warden there as lab demo, things like that. I pick up some work along the way. So I did my PhD, managed to do in 3.5, and I got her. So I was 5 months pregnant. I have to make sure I finish my viva before I go back, because if not, I will have to deliver in UK. I don't want, because my husband is not there. So I need to go back. So I told my supervisor, I didn't tell my supervisor. I hand the first draft. I said, This is my first time, by the way, I'm pregnant. So to show that I'm serious, I didn't want to tell earlier because I don't want it to affect my studies. So it was difficult. I was alone. So while doing experiments, while writing, so I have to finish. I have to finish writing, finish Viva, so that when I go back, I'm done. I don't have to come back again. So I come back 5 months pregnant, finish my Viva, and just waiting for graduation. And then I came back in August. I went to the interview. Masuk my first work was in February. So within after I delivered her, when I come back. So that was my story. So basically, masters and PhD in UK and Australia. But it doesn't matter where you do, as long as you make use of, or you make use of the time you have, the experience that you have. It can be anywhere, but how you make the find out of where you are. Because I was lonely. My husband was back in Malaysia. I had nobody. So I made friends, and then we go traveling, things like that. But you need money, you have to work, so things like that. So there are consequences in what you want to do. But planning is important. But I was lucky, I would say. So effort plus luck is also the same. Rezeki lah, I would say. That's all. So hope it inspires you. So maybe you can want to pursue postgraduate or working, whatever you do. Make sure you love what you're doing. If you don't love what you're doing, there's no point. I was in a situation that I love what I'm doing, but I wasn't happy. People are not. My surrounding wasn't happy, so I tried. Then I said, maybe this is not it. So I stopped. Then I go to somewhere. I mean, a new event, a new place, venture, a new place. I was happy. So maybe sometimes when you have tried and it wasn't for you, that's fine. You can stop, leave, go to the next, point. You don't have to dwell. Of course, you have to try. You try, and if it doesn't work, that is fine. Go to the next chapter or whatever. Yeah, things like that. Okay. So hope that inspires you, motivate you, and hope you, be successful in wherever you are. It doesn't have to be. It can be anywhere. Most importantly, happy, passionate in whatever you're doing. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr.